Hello, and welcome to the Huntington Way Show. My name is Lenny Di Castro, and I'm the Center Director and co owner of Huntington Learning Center in Colorado Springs. The Huntington Way Show is an educational show providing information for kindergarten through 12th grade students and helping parents navigate the educational maze. In today's episode, we have a special guest, Yvonne Strachan. Over the past 14 years, Yvonne Strachan has had the privilege of being refined through homeschooling her five children. She has experienced homeschooling a special needs child, a high school student, while dealing with chronic illness, caring for a parent, and working at the same time. As a homeschool consultant, speaker, author, and blogger, Yvonne compassionately shows she has learned to encourage, nurture, and guide the success of others through her book, and she is the author of Inspirational Homeschooling and how you incorporate a biblical worldview in your child's educational plan. Today, we're going to delve deeper on how to discuss very important questions and concern many people have about homeschooling. Welcome to the show, Yvonne.
Thank you, Lenny. I am so glad to be here to help and discuss about the homeschooling and all the questions that people have.
An increasing number of parents are becoming concerned with what their children are learning and experiencing in schools today. And because of this, they are looking for alternative options to educate their children. Therefore, the percentage of kids being homeschooled is on the rise. In fact, according to the National Home Educational Research Institute, approximately 3,135,000 students in the United States are home educated today compared to the estimated 13,000 home educated children in 1973. Even though there are more people choosing to homeschool, there are some people who are against it. Yvonne, have you experienced anyone who was against your choice to homeschool?
Oh, yes. This is something that so many homeschool families deal with is somebody that is against homeschooling. I have a retired aunt who was a private homeschool or private school teacher, and she wholeheartedly believes that homeschool parents are not equipped to help their children. Therefore, she feels that homeschool students are not educated well enough to go into the workforce or even college. And she holds steadfast on this perspective. She is not supportive of homeschooling.
I am so glad you mentioned that. I think it is very common for everyone that when we do something, our family and friends are the first one who are very unsupportive of our decision. So, for that, can you reassure our listeners and viewers on how to go face unsupportive family and friends?
Oh, yes. What many people don't realize is that homeschool parents have access to the same teachers' editions and the same materials that the teachers have in the public school system. We have so much access even to tutors and enrichment programs and all of the different things out there. In fact, my daughter really enjoyed learning from the tutors there at the Huntington Learning Center that you have. And she has learned so much. It helped her with the ACT tests and the SAT tests. So I really thank you for being able to help out the homeschool students and other students in our community. We have access to interactive classes, videos, pre-recorded video lessons. We also can incorporate internships and dual enrollment courses, AP courses, college readiness courses. Um, Even in the colleges that are here today, we can enroll our kids into that for specialized courses. My oldest daughter actually completed a year-long elective course on writing a novel. She wrote her first novel before she graduated high school, and she has two more that she has completed into draft form that we are working on editing. So hopefully she'll be able to get some of those out there and into, the hands of people that might enjoy her novels. And that has been such a blessing for me because she actually has what they call Turner syndrome. And so we had to model her and change her education throughout the years and just help her, find her gifts, discover her gifts, and really hone those skills so she can, have something special that she gives to the community and our world today. And then my second daughter actually went to a specialized course in flying gliders, and she soloed in her glider when she was 17 years old. And now she's taking powered aircraft lessons and learning all of that as well. So it's pretty amazing what you can do with your homeschool kids and how you can hone their skills and all of the different things that are available to you in homeschooling. My third child, he loves AutoCAD and he is really working on that and getting a certification in that. So it is just amazing. Homeschool parents, they prepare their whole child for the future. And they also are preparing their minds and their hearts. Therefore, parents work hard to create that truly individualized education plan for their children, as I have addressed with my special needs child. And also, some of my children and their interests that they are going after in the gliding and powered flight and the AutoCAD. We can help our children grow their compassion, their gain knowledge, their skills, and their God given gifts so they can serve others in their community, their country, and their future families. And while they are learning, their parents also support them in giving them opportunities to explore and sharpen those interests and those gifts and those abilities, like I have demonstrated. It is just amazing how they can work into those areas. And my uh, daughter just shared with me the other day that when she tried to work in some of these different areas when she was 12 years old, she started a cake business and she has a Facebook page and she still does cakes, and so does my second youngest daughter as well. And, just being able to delve into that, she was able to do cakes for people and get orders. And then when she wanted to change and go, well, I don't want to stay doing these cakes and I want to fly, she was able to do that. But one of the things that she shared with me was that being able to delve into those interests, it kind of gave her an idea of what that would look like in the future. And it gave her an idea of what she might like to do in the future. So that's really neat. We can actually work with our children before they graduate, preparing them for real jobs and college success. So, did you know, according to the National Home Education Research Institute, homeschool parents' education does not reflect their children's academic achievements? Home educated kids typically score 15 to 30 percentile points above average on the academic achievement tests that they take, and above average on the SAT and ACT tests as well. Statistics show that homeschool students graduate college at an equal or higher rate than the general population, and many colleges actively recruit homeschool students. So, this is great news. What's more, taxpayers actually spend an average of $15,240 per student every year in the public schools. Did you know that,
I really don't know anything about that, but thank you so much for bringing that out.
Lenny? Oh, while home education costs parents much less, averaging $600 per child. It also saves taxpayers over $56 billion in taxes. The bottom line is what some people don't realize is that homeschool parents work hard in helping their children learn. And we spend every day teaching and working with our children. Therefore, we observe our child's strengths and their weaknesses firsthand, and we can address it anytime we see a need. We have we become very extremely resourceful, and when we have anything that we have to address. And we don't have to deal with the bureaucracy either. You see, homeschool parents can custom tailor their child's learning and experiences considering their child's abilities, gifts, interests, family dynamics, values, faith, and the kind of character that they want their children to have. Homeschool families, there are other people watching us. Hearing these statistics and then seeing your children thrive through their future, both in their families, in their character, and whether they go to college, will help them change their position. In my experience, it is actually often those unsupportive people who are trying to grasp and just understand something that is different to them. And you know what? Those might even be the people that are considering homeschooling for themselves.
Wow, Yvonne. There are a lot of great informations that you discussed today. We can definitely say that homeschooling is another option for other families. And for those parents who are already doing homeschooling, we salute you. You are our hero. And in this show, we can provide you information on how to navigate the homeschooling system. This has been the Huntington Way Show. When we come back, Yvonne and I will address another big concern people have about homeschooling. Please join us as we thank our sponsors. So stay tuned. Welcome back. Yvonne, I understand that you consult with hundreds of homeschool families every year. What is the most common concern that you address with homeschoolers?
Oh, Lenny, I have people that are new to homeschooling ask this, and people that are homeschooling now, how they can address it. Oh, veteran homeschoolers, potential homeschoolers, and non homeschoolers are all worried about socialization. First, I want to share that homeschool children are just as unique as any child that attends public school. Let's face it, some people are shy while other people's aren't. The difference is that as homeschool parents, we can see what is hard for our children. We can really look at those situations that cause our kids that discomfort. Then we can encourage and teach them how to engage and relate with others in different settings. Secondly, homeschool kids seem to thrive with communication skills, flexibility, and workability. After all, they face all of the same situations that you and I face as we're working throughout the world today. We have them in different age groups and settings because they're exposed to a wide array of situations like field trips and gatherings and extracurricular activities and church and all of these different things. You know, they're not in the same group of kids 5 days a week. Thirdly, homeschool students gain confidence as they work through situations in a home setting. After all, parents don't confuse kids with conflicting beliefs and convictions because they're not in school learning one thing and then coming home and learning another way. You know, they are not faced with being accepted or influenced by other kids in school as well. And, you know, sometimes they can face those negative comments from jealous and demeaning kids. Now, since family dynamics and interests are diverse and often change from year to year, homeschool children may see each other just for a season as they're working through some of those different interests and some of the different organizations that they um, partake in. So, you know, as they're going, their interests change, or maybe if they have a little brother or sister born, or maybe there's some medical issues in their family, they may, you know, change what they're interested in or what they participate in. And as they change, they might feel disconnected or lose those connections that they have had with other homeschool families. So, to address this situation, I always recommend that parents get their children involved in some of these organizations that will encourage participation year after year so they can really get to know other children in those settings and really make those deeper connections. This was one of the things that my teenagers had shared with me, and once I had gotten them into things like Civil Air Patrol, church youth group, and you can either try like 4-H or trail life or so many of those different things. And when they get participating in those, they really make those connections, and then they just feel more fulfilled and supported from me and from others because they are with people that have those like interests year after year.
This is great, Yvonne. It sounds like homeschooling children are immersed in the same situation we experience throughout the adult lives, working and interacting with all people of all ages. But I also like your suggestion to help your children, especially teenagers, gain deeper connections with others who have similar interests and are facing similar decisions and stages in life. I have one last question. In case there are parents who are listening today and are considering homeschooling, how does one start the process?
Wow, that's really a great question, Lenny. The most important step that I tell people when they call me about homeschooling is to really sit with your family, your husband and your kids, because you really need to be on that same page. You know, not every day of homeschooling is going to be great and wonderful and work smoothly. That just doesn't happen. So you need that support from your family and especially your spouse when you're feeling like you're failing. And I've had many situations where I have felt that way. So I'm so grateful that my husband is there to just support me and encourage me. And there's times that our house was a mess and he's come home and I've been like, "Oh, I'm just not getting everything done." And he's like, "You know what? You are teaching 5 kids. That's like equivalent to 5 jobs. And if you don't get the kitchen done, I am fine with that. We'll do it tonight before we go to bed." So, just having that support is so important. The other thing that is so important is just having your kids on that same page. Why are you homeschooling? What is important to you and your family? Um, do you want them to learn so they can go to college? Let them know that you are on their side and you're trying to help them for their future. And what's important to your family. I mean, there are some families that really have adventure and family time high on their priority list, while others want to incorporate participation maybe in serving others. And yet there are still others that on their hearts they just want to prepare their children too for serving others and going to college and really honing those skills that God had given them. you know Once you have decided that you would like to homeschool and you have had that discussion with your family, it is also very important to look up those homeschool laws for the state in which you reside. The bottom line is every state has different homeschool laws. Some states require you to submit a notice of intent to homeschool every year. There are others that want you to meet with somebody in their administration office and go over a portfolio and prove their education. Others still recommend academic achievement tests. And there are some states that actually have no homeschool laws or reporting that is required. So it is very important to look at that. And on my website, inspirationalhomeschooling.com, I have a tab where you can actually just click on state laws and then they have links to every state law. So it's just super easy to get to the, the laws for your state. The next thing that you want to also think about is, if your children are enrolled in a school, you need to unenroll them. Because if they think that your child is going to be coming to school and they don't show up, they're going to need to mark them absent. And they need to report to somebody too. So you don't want to have that on their record of them being truant because then that complicates things even within the homeschool laws and the way that you're legally homeschooling. After that, you need to follow the laws that are outlined in your state. You need to submit those forms or whatever that is needed for to fulfill those laws in homeschool legally. Um, Research and obtain the various tools, which would be like the curriculum or other tools that you would use for homeschooling as well, and make sure that they align with your values and what you want to incorporate in your homeschool. That's why that discussion was so important at the beginning. Um, those tools are what you will use to help educate your child and develop a plan for what your homeschool adventure will look like. You're going to also include extracurriculars, you're going to hone their skills, you're going to gain their interests and speak to their interests on where they want to go in the future. And you are their biggest cheerleader, you are their biggest help. So you can make that custom program for them. Then, lastly, I say connect with a homeschool consultant. I can help you, and I do that for free. Or there's other homeschool parents in your area that can help you. You can ask them questions, you can get that support, and that is ever more important as well. You can also attend homeschool conventions, and there are homeschool conventions starting up, and they usually go through the summer. And there's surely some near you. You can also go on my website for that, where I have a resource tab on the homeschool conventions and see if there's one near you that you can attend. So that's about it on that one.
Thank you so much, Yvonne. And I would like to go thank you for covering all the process on how to go start on the homeschooling, especially if these are the option for another families. So if any one of you would like to get more information or specific questions, please contact Yvonne and she will put you in the right direction. Where can you tell what Yvonne, can you tell our viewers on how to find you?
Yes, you can find more encouragement in my book, Inspirational Homeschooling, as you see here. And that is also in the Huntington Learning Center in the lobby. So you can see Lenny and take a look at that there as well. You can also get that on Amazon, Barnes& and Noble, and Walmart as well. Also, visit my homeschool website. There is a lot of resources there that can help you, and there's a way that you can connect with me there as well.
Thank you so much again. And as we discuss the homeschooling, this has been the Huntington Way Show, where we support you in your in educating your kids. Join us again on Saturdays at 1:30 p.m. and Sundays at 10:30 a.m. on Power Talk 10:40 a.m., 98.5 FM and 95.7 FM. You can also follow us on our YouTube channel at Power Talk 10:40 a.m.